All right, time for a weekly review. I just am finishing my 5 day water fast. I started Sunday morning, well, Saturday night, and I will be fasting until tomorrow breakfast. But just kind of wanted to go through what I've learned, and this is more of like a journal vlog for me. So this week, the main things that I have done, my main difference between this week and my fast last week is this week I decided not to watch videos of how to cook food. And I have tried not to watch videos where they're eating or anything like that. There's a couple of channels where I have seen people eating, but before I used to really focus in on videos, and those brought comfort while I was hungry. But I'm almost 64, 65 days into my journey now, and I don't need that anymore. And maybe I never did. This week has really shown me that I'm mentally better off not watching that stuff. Not to say that other people shouldn't, and like I say, like I feel like when I started it was a help. When I was really hungry. This last week I haven't really felt hungry much at all. Um, and there hasn't been too many temptations. Um, I am excited to eat tomorrow, as I always am. But I do have a new goal for my eating tomorrow, and so I will do another post, hopefully in a couple of days, that goes over how my eating went and whether or not I was able to keep up with this idea. And that's how I hope to do every test that I do. I hope to do one at the end of the fast and one at the end of the refeed, so that you can watch whichever ones, and so that I can go back and remember this far back. But my goal for this next 2 days is to only eat enough that I'm satisfied, and only enough that I'm ready to eat at the next meal. So let me explain. Last week, I ended my fast, and I was really excited to try several of the things that my wife had made for dinner. And so I had saved them, and I had put them in the fridge. And that's an easy mental tool for me to say, I don't need to eat it right now because I can eat it when I'm done with my fast. And that helps me sometimes. And so I had a couple of different dishes, some fried rice that she had made, and some like chicken parmesan. Both of them was really tempting to me at the time, and I got through that temptation by putting them in the fridge. And so then I went to eat them, and in the morning I ate a whole bunch of fried rice until I was full, and then I ate a whole bunch of the chicken parmesan until I was really full, and I wasn't hungry again like almost all of the rest of the day. But I always get popcorn. That's one of the things that is a trigger food. I don't know what you call it. I really like popcorn, and so I like to sit and eat it while I'm watching TV or whatever. And so I ate popcorn for a lot of the day, but I didn't feel like eating breakfast. And then at dinner, I'm like, well, I have things that I want to eat. And so I went and ate dinner anyway. And then on Saturday, I was like, hey, there's this, burrito place that I love. And so I'm going to eat a burrito and a half. And because I really want it, I haven't been able to have it. And like later that day, my stomach started to hurt. And you have to remember that when you're fasting, especially for 5 days, it's not so bad. Like I didn't get any of this when I was only fasting 80 hours, but I got it when I was fasting 14 day. I was doing at the beginning of my journey, I was doing 14-day water fasts and 7 days of refeeding. And my stomach would hurt. But then still, like we like to go out with our friends every week on Friday or Saturday. And so even though my stomach didn't feel good and I could feel like sour burps and extra gas, I still felt like, well, we're going out with our friends. I need to eat. And so then I still ate. And that night, like I couldn't sleep all night. I had just constant sour burps and gas, and my stomach hurt anytime I was laying down. I had to sit up, and like I burped just, it was the worst. Probably too much information, but I burped for like 8 hours. Like I didn't get any rest that night, and just felt terrible the next day. And the next day I was starting my fast, and so I didn't eat anything, and that was good, because about 10 hours into the day I started to feel better. But I've only felt that way one other time, and it was the same idea where I ate, and I ate a lot even when I wasn't hungry. So that's one of my keys, is you can't eat when you're not hungry. And you have to remember that when you've fasted for 5 or 10 or 15 days, your stomach is smaller. And even though you want all that food, like your stomach is smaller. And so you just have to calm down, and you have to say, okay, for breakfast, I'm going to have a couple of eggs, maybe a piece of bacon, and a peach or two, because peaches are in season right now. And my neighbor just dropped off a bunch, and I'm excited to eat those tomorrow. But I'm going to eat one, and I'm going to have an egg or two, and a piece of bacon, and like a normal breakfast, like normal people eat. In the hopes that then when lunch comes around, I can have a normal lunch that normal people eat, not people who are addicts to food. But so that's the goal, is to make it so that I eat normal meals. I can still have whatever I want. Right now, when I'm breaking my fast, while I'm losing the weight, I'm not worrying yet about what I'm eating. I do give myself little trials, little tests, little improvements every single refeed, and some of them every fast, where I can go through and decide, hey, I should do this little thing different. Like for example, not watching food videos, or only eating until you've had enough. And so, but I'm not worried about what I eat. I can eat whatever I want. I just need to keep it small. My goal when I get down closer to my weight will be to shift so that I eat more naturally healthy food. And I'll have a whole video on what my plans are, and I'll have other videos about my journey so far and what I've learned. But this is more of just a vlog of me going through what my plans are, how I've done. Right now I lost all of the weight that I gained during the refeed, and I'm down an extra 1.5 pounds. And I fully expect, 2 or 3 or more pounds tomorrow. So that this week I will have lost, hopefully, 4 pounds, 5 pounds. I don't really have any goal, and so if it's not that, I'm not going to be disappointed. But as long as I get some. I did a test a while ago that gave me 0, and that was too difficult to keep doing, and so I had to stop that test early. But that's this week's follow-up. Hopefully in a couple days I'll have another one, and we'll see how the refeed went, how I felt, and how that's all doing. If you have any questions, if anybody actually watches this, I have no idea if anybody will ever watch it, but if anybody watches it and you have questions, ask them. I do have a tendency of being a little arrogant, or so my wife tells me, and so I might pretend that my answer is like the absolute truth, and really all of my answers and all of my stuff is just based off what I've learned and what I've done, and so off of my personal experience. And it's, it may be very different for you, but I'm happy to answer whatever questions you have, and I'm happy to give whatever advice if other people can hopefully get the same mindset that I've gotten. I've finally found a mindset and a drive that's working, and I've looked for that for years and years, and I finally have that, and I'm hoping that it can continue and push through beyond just getting to my goal, but getting to the point where I don't have these mental issues where I have to eat these things, and I have to, if there's ice cream in the house, I have to eat it all, and if there's if I'm watching a movie, I have to have popcorn. Otherwise, I can't watch the movie. Like, I hope over time to overcome those. But fasting is such an awesome tool to help me with that healing in such a way that mistakes can be forgiven, right? mistakes in those things, I can fast to get back down to my goal. And with the mindset that I have now, it's helping me do that and helping me achieve that. My other update that I will regularly give is how far I can walk. The whole reason I'm fasting is to heal my back. That's why this is called Fast for Healing. I have herniated discs in my back, and I have some broken bones in my back since I was a kid. And it's made it basically impossible to walk for years. And so my goal for my fast has been to heal my back, and that's why I'm using fasting. I want to use not only the lack of inflammation that fasting does, but also the autophagy that comes from longer 5-day, 14-day, eventually 21-day or 30-day fasts. That autophagy can help heal my discs, and I've seen it happen with other people, and so it gives me hope that it can happen for me. And so that's why I'm doing this. And so for my update, when I first started, I could walk 40-ish steps before it was just too painful, and I had to sit down for a minute, and then I could walk another 40, and then I could sit down, and that was my life for years. And now, today I went for a mile-long walk. I did get a little bit of pain in the middle. I had to squat down for a little bit. It's only like 8 or 9 seconds, but it's enough to alleviate that sciatic nerve. Just enough that I can then keep going and the pain goes away for a while. And so today I did a mile-long walk, and I did another walk that was about half a mile, maybe a little bit less. I'm sure I'll do another walk tonight that's closer to a mile. But a couple days ago, so during this week, I did a 2-mile walk, which is my ultimate goal, is to do a 2-mile walk with no pain. And I was able to do the 2-mile walk, and I had enough pain that I had to stop about 5 times. And again, it's like a 10 or 15 second squat down, feel the stretch in my back just enough, and then I get up and walk again and the pain's gone. So it's not bad. I mean, it's way better. Like this is a transformation in my life. Like the ability to walk like I do, it's a blessing. Like it's what drives me to keep going. The weight loss is really cool. And, I'm 58.2 pounds down total in about 65 days. And that's awesome. But it's not what's driving me. What's driving me is how I can walk more. I fixed up my bike so that I could ride my bike this week. And I want to ride my bike when I go over to friends' houses and stuff. I want to ride my bike there because I can. And before I couldn't, and now I'm able. And so I want to do more and more and more because I can, and I love it. So that's my update. Talk to you guys later.